Welcome to part 3 of the 44 Auto Mag saga, as it is a continuing story, but I can't promise it will be the last, but I don't promise there'll be any more coming anytime real soon. But in parts 1 and 2, I gave an initial look at the gun and I talked about its history. Then I went out and put a few rounds through it. Well, for part 3, I wanted to take you along on a deeper journey into the process, mainly because many of you requested more detail. Another pretty astute viewer commented that the feeding issues I was having in the last video were likely my own fault for resting the barrel on my rifle rest, which was retarding the reciprocating action of the upper receiver, which is a necessary part of the function of this pistol. So I immediately realized he was absolutely right as soon as I read that, so thank you for making that comment. Just goes to prove that I can learn stuff by reading the comments on the video, and I do read them. In this video, I'm going to do only handheld shooting, so we're going to eliminate that variable. And finally, I wanted to do a fairly thorough test of the gun and the ammo, so I put a couple of groups through the chronograph, and in all I fired about 50 rounds. One of the two magazines still has an annoying problem and has to do with the follower and the catch for the slide stop and all that. And I won't get into the gory details, but suffice it to say that I had to break out some tools and disassemble part of the pistol just to get the magazine out. So I set that one aside and was forced to use one magazine. But mostly I just wanted to pick up the pace a little bit in this video, do a little bit more shooting, let you guys get a good look, hopefully, from a few different perspectives at this beautiful, historic gun in action. Okay, I've already tried a few rounds, one magazine worth, only about 5 rounds, through the 44 Auto Mag with this ammo. Let's give it a try again. 5 more rounds. I found that of the 2 magazines I have, one has really got a problem. I've identified what the problem is, and it's basically, I got to bench it. So I'm down to 1 magazine, and I'm probably only going to load, I don't know, I might try full load again, but right now I've just got 5 rounds in the magazine. I'm only about 7 or 10 yards from my target, and just going to take a few shots, and then we're going to do some chrono work. Let's just see how this ammo does. Tell you right now, she makes some noise. And she's got some thump to her. All right. Well, there was 5 for 5. That makes me 10 for 10. So the ammo is shooting good. It's making, except for maybe a couple flyers that are only a couple inches off center, it's making a heck of a group. It's functioning well. Feels good. Let's see if I can get the sunlight to cooperate with my chronograph. See what kind of energy we're pushing out of this thing. Okay, let's chrono some rounds. I got 5 more loaded in my magazine. Got the chrono turned on. I'm about 12 feet back from the chrono. I also ran some 9mm loads that I'm very familiar with over the chrono first, just to calibrate or make sure that it was calibrated and it is reading good numbers. So whatever it tells us ought to be really close to the truth. Let's see what this thing does. For some reason, second time that's happened, doesn't want to feed that last round, but it feeds it fine once I run the bolt. Okay. Looking pretty consistent so far. All right, let's take a quick look at those numbers. All right, let's take a look at the 1476, 1474, 1476, 1481. The high, 1489. The low, 1474. And the average, 1479. So pretty consistent, very consistent, and kind of where I like it. It's kind of a sweet spot. So I was hoping maybe somewhere right in the 1500 range. That's close. I might tweak the load a little bit, but what I'm going to probably do is go try the other load that I loaded up, see how it measures. All right, let's move over now to this load. This is the one that gave me a little bit of trouble with the bullet seating. You know, that lead tip was sort of getting smushed and rounded and all that kind of stuff. So I have a couple of variations of this load, but let's give it a try. See what it measures. Hold on, let me move this barrel because I'd be really mad one of my brass cases goes down in that barrel. This brass is not easy to come by. Duplicate. How's that for consistency, boys and girls? Not quite in battery. And that's one of the things I was worried about with this load and the problems I was having. Let's see what happens here. Okay. All right. Okay. That also looked like a pretty consistent batch. Let's review. 1484, 81, 86, 86 again, high 86, low 81. That is a pretty consistent load, average of 1484. So other than having some bullet seating issues, which I'm pretty positive I have resolved with the change of dies, very consistent stuff. Good stuff indeed. Okay, I chronoed this bunch with the lead tip, but I didn't record any target hits. So let's try some target hits on that one. Still about 10 yards back from my target. I have not pasted any of my previous holes, so they're all there. she does thump. Sounds like somebody shooting a rifle over here. Okay. They all fed that time. That was 6 rounds. They're shooting good. Accurate as heck. Even in my hands. It's a whole lot of fun. I think I'm going to probably shoot a little bit more. See if we can't maybe give you a nice close look at this beautiful, beautiful handgun. Of course, real men shoot the .44 auto mag one-handed. Oh, double feed. Okay, I probably limp wristed it a little bit to cause that double feed. Okay guys, I think that's going to wrap it up today with the .44 auto mag. I don't want to have too much fun all at one time. I'm going to save a little bit of fun for later. I'll tell you what, she is a thumper, but it is a whole lot of fun to shoot. Has a whole different feel to it than just about everything I've shot before. Part of that is just the feel of the bolt. Part of that is obviously the incredible pressure of this cartridge and putting this huge chunk of lead down range at such high speed. Part of it is just enjoying the feel of beautifully engineered history right here in my hand. So I'm going to wrap it up with 6 last rounds and call it a day. Thanks for watching the saga. We'll see this again eventually.